Emergent Drums 2 is out. I'll get straight to the point here. The two main things. Number one, there's a new model called Creamy. And number two, you can now drag in your own samples and make variations out of those inside of Emergent Drums. That's like the biggest selling point here. That alone is worth having Emergent Drums on its own, straight up worth it. Basically, the main thing that's happening right now is that they're adding deep sampler into Emergent Drums, which is rad. It's especially incredible for kick drums, but it's getting there with everything else too, you know? Obviously, that's where this was going, so now we're getting there. You can check out my video on deep sampler here somewhere. I'll show you right away what this thing's kind of capable of. If you have no idea what Emergent Drums is, it's just a drum sampler. This track that I made is just using Emergent Drums. So you can do more than just drums with it. So that track is whatever. I'll probably throw it in the trash. Here, I'll play it real quick so you kind of get an idea on what it can do. So on top of those main two updates, we get a bunch of little small updates. Number one, choke groups. I mean, choking is basically like what you do with a real hi-hat, you know? You open the hat and then you choke it.
We get choke groups.
You can lock the drum pads now, which is cool. So you can lock like 4 and then regenerate all the other ones, for example. You can now copy paste, which is also rad. It's super handy, for example, when, let's say you want to make variations of 4 snares. So you give it an initial snare. Here's a snare, boom. Now I want to make 3 other variations based off that snare that sound similar, but aren't, you know, not exactly the same. So I can just go like spap, pap, pap, and boom, there we go. We got 3 brand new snares that sound very much like the original snare, but aren't. So you can see, you can make like more realistic sounding rolls and whatever you're trying to do. We also get models per pad. So now you can pick a pad individually and change its model between creamy and crunchy, so you don't need to change all of them at once. So that can give you sort of like a hybrid kit or something. Another update is that now the sample rate is based off of your DAW. I checked it out myself. Here you can see if you have 44.1 as your sample rate in your DAW, it generates samples at that rate. If you go to 48, boom, samples at 48. I didn't test it in anything else, but I'm assuming you could do them all the way up to 96 or whatever. So go to town. I guess last but not least, you get new presets and the sort of new directories and stuff. So the most handy thing to me is, I think I actually suggested this, and maybe there was somebody else who also did, to basically have presets where you can select all hats, for example, or all kicks, or all snares for both model types. A lot of the times what I look for in Emergent is just hi-hats, for example. I don't always need like a full kit, you know what I mean? Like, sure, that's fun, but honestly, a lot of the times, or maybe most of the times, I just want maybe like even just like random glitch noises. Just think about having deep sampler inside of your DAW. That's what you're basically going to get. Plus a lot more, obviously, because now you can use all of the pads, you can layer stuff, you can get creative and just kind of regenerate to get like technically infinite variations out of all your samples. I don't know, that's a pretty good deal if you ask me.
Samples. Lots of samples.
I mean, the implications are pretty huge, in my opinion. I think Emergent Drums is definitely upping the ante right now, and I think they're becoming a pretty big player, definitely in terms of drum machines that are out there, because there's not any other drum machine that I can think of other than maybe like Backbone, and I think it's called Tensor. Forget the other one. If you got other ones you know of, boom, put them in the comments. I'd like to know. Okay, so thanks for watching and see you later. That's the end. Ugh, it's a bee.